don't know about you, but I would think that if I was going through a really hard time, I kind of get like a free pass out of, doing the right thing. Right? I mean, you ever just feel like if life is not going well, it's not meeting your expectations, and things have been going south real quick, I kind of feel like I get a chance to opt out of normal. I get a chance to pull away from people, to pull away from reality, to kind of like binge watch some TV shows, eat food I shouldn't. There's some parts of me that when I'm going through something difficult or suffering, I kind of feel this permission to be on a different track, and I'll return back to normal when this is over. And I think nobody would deserve that pass more than someone who just lost their spouse. In this story in the very, very old Jewish scriptures, we have this widow who lived in a place called Zarephath. What a name. If you're looking for a good dog name, by the way, maybe you're going to get a dog for Christmas. Old Zarephath kind of ran through and, peed on your shoes. But anyways, the widow of Zarephath, it's this crazy story where this man who's called a prophet named Elijah meets this widow. And she gives him such hospitality. Let me tell you what it is. You can find it in 1 Kings 17, verse 7. Sometime later, there's a brook that dried up because there had been no rain in the land. And then the word of the Lord came to Elijah. Go at once to Zarephath in the region of Sidon and stay there. I've directed a widow there to supply you with food. This woman is a widow, but apparently she's still open to God's leading in her life. She's still open to doing things God would tell her to do. Verse 10, so he went to Zarephath, and when he came to the town gate, a widow was there gathering sticks, a common activity. And he called to her, and he asked, would you bring me a little water in a jar so I may have a drink? And as she was going to get it, he called, oh, and bring me, please, a piece of bread. As surely as the Lord your God lives, she replied, I don't have any bread, only a handful of flour in a jar and a little olive oil in a jug. I'm gathering a few sticks to take home and to make a meal for myself and my son that we may eat it and die. This widow is so destitute that her and her son are all that's left, and she's literally gathering sticks to make a fire to create their last meal. I don't know if you were on death row or something. I don't think you and I would just pick bread to eat, right? You'd pick lobster and steak. And this woman is just realizing, I've got to do something so that my son and I can just pass away. But Elijah said to her, don't be afraid. Go home, do as you have said, but first make a small loaf of bread for me from what you have to bring to me, and then make something for yourself and your son. For this is what God, the God of Israel, says, the jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry until the day the Lord sends rain on the land. So she went away, did exactly as he told her, and there was food every single day for Elijah and for the woman and for her family. The jar of flour was not used up, and the jug of oil did not run dry, in keeping with what God had said by Elijah. This is so interesting because this woman was literally preparing her last meal for her and her son, and she still chose to be generous. She still chose to say, all right, Elijah, all right, God, I'll trust you. I'll make some bread, even though there's pretty much none left for me. I have a question. I can't help but read the story and wonder, was she acting out of faith or out of desperation? Was she saying, okay, God, I trust you, and I'll just be generous because you said so? Or how do you and I act when we're desperate? If we have nothing to lose, maybe we'll just try something, because in her mind, she's about to die anyways. I wonder if that's some of us today. That if you and I can't decide whether we are acting out of faith or out of emptiness, desperation. I wonder if some of us are somewhere in between. God, I believe you and trust you. You're going to make good out of this situation. Or if some of us are just like, what do I have to lose? Maybe I'll just trust you anyways, because what else is going to happen? This woman in this old Jewish story reveals a deep mystery. That you and I get to be generous anyways, because we may find that the bread and the oil won't run out.